What's going on, YouTube? Time for another recap. What a monster day. If you follow me over on X here, you would have seen the calls come out. Our Discord group obviously always gets these first. We talk through the whole trade. But we said early on here, my thing here, drawn. Early. Blue algos for potential levels after data is what we talked about. 21,386. That was just the minimum. Data, PCE this morning just started popping off, seeing the nasty pop. Said it'll most likely hold that data top and we will fly. I called 200 points to the upside. Now, those 200 points to the upside, we're looking really awesome here. Gave some targets for ES as well as we tried to do. 5,898 all the way up to about 6K is what we said in chat, but again, way before it happened here. Now, right before that open, about 4 hours ago, no, we don't want that. I posted this one right here at the open. I say 200 points long here after data on NQ. Looking good for a pop. ES will follow as long as we were looking for yesterday's lows to fill. Common gap. So we started in a gap down today under yesterday's lows. We're going to plow to the upside there because everything is still on track. And as we called that 200 points, we played that 200 points, hit a record day today on the small accounts, funded accounts, whatever you want to call them. And then we have the big accounts still at 7K. So if you followed me here, you benefited this morning. You hit, or maybe you didn't. I don't know. At least you seen it. 200 points. Let's talk about it. So as we came into the day, now if you watched our last YouTube video, we gave a couple instances where on the NQ here, we were going to see over under the giant Powell scary candle. We made some comments about this candle. We fibbed out the body of this candle, and we talked about the golden pocket, which is a 38.20 to the 61.8. And we said, well, that's probably not going to hit right here, and we're probably going to get a little bit more downside before upside. For this candle, but historically, like we talked about here on trend, we're still in a very large uptrend. There is no confirmational rollover. It's just one big dead red candle. So when the price action came way back down here from the 200 SMA and EMA in the purples, popped up, found that higher low, shied the hit. Notice there's no hit right there. It popped over all moving averages, 10 in the blue, 100 EMA in the green, and 50, all right here. All the moving averages broke over. Caught that 10, came through, again, came down. Did it hit that 50 SMA? Nope. 50 SMA? Nope. 50 SMA? Nope. Still on trend, guys. The world's not going to end. We said this could easily get bought back up if we didn't start dropping under the confirmational level. And we needed to stay under what? We said the golden pocket. And we said very directly that if it holds inside the Powell candle, we'll most likely retrace back up to the golden pocket before getting any likely downside because the Santa rally's still on. General sentiment and seasonality is still here. I just don't see the big old wash. Oh, the market's coming to an end. It's on fire. Everybody quit it. So let's get into some of the trades that we had tick here. How did we see 200 points? Well, we talked about the algos that I had posted. I can't tell you how I get those algos, but our specialty here is to find algorithm imbalances with volume that require backtests, right? And we have this little sneaky candle here. We like to do high-low fibs as well. So we do a high-low Fibonacci here on the 5-minute, and this is going to be for the PCE data this morning. And then I generally like to watch mainly the Fibonacci levels. That's it. So to make it a little easier here, I'll make all of these like a neon pink so we can kind of see them real easy. So for this Fibonacci example, I just wanted to talk real fast about the 5-minute high-low structured break because we came into this golden pocket right here at the open, right? Hit the 100 EMA for support because we broke over, held it, and then anything, like I said, anything over VWAP for us, we were going to just stick long. So you've seen it break right past the 1618 after we already got a tag. So, of course, this is early. Came up to the 1618 first extension, back down to the golden pocket. If that holds and then it mounts and goes for the 100 fib, which is the top of the data candle here, we're going to see a break back over and a runner to at least the 2618. Now, it makes this one very unique here because the sentiment here was still very high, very squeezy, tons of shorts thinking the world's ending, retail traders, the people that are, real new at the YOLOing, and that's all they do is short lows after chasing red candles for whatever reason. But not our problem here. So 2618, I want you to concentrate on these candles right here. Notice the speed of this 5-minute candle cluster, 1, 2, 3. We had 15 minutes of monster upside here, and it blew the doors off the 2618 Fibonacci. So that came from the golden pocket, blew right through the 1618, didn't even bother touching the 10 SMA and the blue here on the 5, but it said, no, I'm good, just straight up. And that's where I was calling an easy 200 points. Now, of course, we got the 200 points right from the data, and I said right from the data top up, and we gave those targets. Well, 200 points is pretty easy. That was right here, and that blew right through the 2618, right to the 423.60, which was another 400 points, and then, of course, even higher. So when I left my group today, I said, hey, you guys can just pray and hope that we don't see another 300-point runner, because then we're going to come back to the golden pocket, which we discussed in our last YouTube video that we can retrace to if we hold the candle, right? Let's get into it. If you guys forget real quick, real recap here. As we explained in the last YouTube video, we have a golden pocket scenario no tag. What is that? Well, if you paid attention to the last YouTube video, we structure the body, right? Big old body of the not CPI, Powell FOMC day, right? Bam. Bam. So this golden pocket is created from 535.11, 516.42. And that's a little off right there. My OCD is going to kill me here. I got to get that right on there. All right, cool. And then when we make a giant candle, knee-jerk reaction, because everything's at all-time highs, we have a bunch of, dumb money versus smart money, retail investor sentiment all-time high, just a lot of idiotic stuff coming into Powell, coming into the rate hikes, right? And like we said, shying that 50 SMA is pretty much the market's job on trend, right? So like the example, the QQ, moving averages, hit, higher low, swoop, 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 running away from the 50. So that brings us to the golden pocket no tag, right? We create this giant nasty candle from Powell, and then we need to retest the GP, which is the golden pocket between 38.20 and 61.8 of the Fibonacci. I don't even use any other levels because we don't need them. It's all about the GP here. So the golden pocket, as we call it, needed a tag. So when the candle was created by Powell, this candle was a dead red, just a little bit lower. That was the short trap. Went down a little bit overnight, went for that 50, and then I was like, NQ hit 21,000. That's a reputable move, but also if you look to your left right here, this was one of the biggest takeaways, and we always talk about gaps in first tags, right? Well, if you look to your left here on the QQQ, we'll level it out real fast. We have this daily gap. Now, this daily gap, lo and behold, was the bounce point, right? Easy peasy. And we love gaps here. That's half of our algo system is actually relatively dependent on gaps. So this daily gap hit for support. And if we didn't go through that, it was going to squeeze because this is the perfect short trap. Why? Well, because no golden pocket tag, man. We have this giant, crazy red Powell candle, but nothing hit on the half retracement. So if we do not fall outside of 516.43, which is the body, right, the close of the Powell, if we are not trending down from there, we're not going down. It's gonna launch itself back up. So when that gap tagged, I started to see the reverse this morning on PCE. I'm like, no problem. We're flying to the upside, right? So we talked about all that stuff on our last video breakdown, and we were talking about where we could go. Well, the 100 EMA on SPY was another area where I would have liked to see, and this is another scenario, likely on bull trend, right? Comes down on SPY. It shied the 200. It's very different than the Qs that hit it. Let me scale that out so you can see it. Yeah, there you go. So this hit right here, no 200s. My shirt's transparent. I forgot I was wearing teal. No tag of the 200 SMAs or EMAs, comes flying up, breaks through the 150, so on and so forth. The SPY comes down, misses the 100 EMA in the green, shies it, right? Price action comes, gets shy, scared, runs away. Same with the gaps, right? Made another gap, ran away from that, had no chance at the 100 right here, hit the 50, and away she went. Well, she got a little bit closer to that 100 EMA and also into this giant gap that we had created. And we talked about where if we were going to come down to a fill point, we were only going to go as low as, the gap fill, 575. But that's only persistent if we see turnarounds to that downside and continuation. It's all about yesterday's close a lot of the times at lows. So when I posted that on X and I said, hey, we're going to go long into yesterday's lows for the common gap fill, which I called right here on SPY, yesterday's lows and close is right here in the blue and the white dotted lines. So after this PCE data, we called that it was going to hold that. We're going to go at least to yesterday's lows. Well, again, you can see the speed and pump of these candles were bonkers, right? And notably, we barely got that 100 EMA tag. And it's funny because I said long off that 100 EMA here in ES2, and that I think we called 44 plus points, and it went way past our call. We call it from here at the View app, and we gave those price targets out. I think we're looking at 70, 40 on ES. Yeah, that's 70 points right there. So it's 10 to 1. So whenever you see 1 here, it's 10 ES. So we were calling for right here yesterday's lows. You see about 40 or $4.40. This is 40 points right here. So from VWAP to yesterday's lows, I was like, yeah, 40 some points, no problem. That's a really nice ES hit. But VIX is high, which means the market can be completely irrational. It can go absolute bonkers. So when the VIX is up in the 20s here, ES starts trading like friggin' NQ, right? Putting in bonkers points, putting in huge candles. We love when the VIX is high. We love it. This is the best volatility ever. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick, touch on our fib, and what are we doing here for the rest, okay? Well, for the market, we're going to obviously utilize the over-under. Now, I told my group here on Discord, I'm like, man, you can pray for us to stay near the 100, right, and not go to the golden pocket, but there's a good chance we're just going to run to the golden pocket and screw everything up for the Santa rally. And most likely we're going to start looking at chop and garbage now because we had already made the move. The best case scenario would have been to be hovering and slow around, 589, 590 here, inside of the nothing candle after the Powell dump. So that big candle created this tiny little guy right here. And if we would have did a consolidation candle with like a really nice close, long wick up here, but a hammer body, super long wick. That would have been fantastic. Body into long wick top would have been fantastic, right? Creating a huge body and then filling it up, not leaving too much of the wick, but kind of like right here where those candles lied. And then we could find a continuation candle to be made up into the Santa rally for next week. Well, that didn't happen. We already got the full long move, so that's all off the table. So what's next is our obvious over under for or golden pocket. That's it. That's all we can do. So we already hit the 50. That's the most important thing. So all good trades are off table for the week. For next week, now we got to fight the market again because the best case scenarios are done, which is, again, no big deal. That's the norm. So two things are going to happen here. 50 SMA is going to be your best friend. This is the prediction for further. So we predicted a beautiful long move today. We only caught about 50% of that upside, but we nailed it. Super stoked, actually, for the weekend, going into the weekend highs off that. All natty highs. Now, this golden pocket, though, this is the over-under with the 50. So when we come into now, whenever the futures open on Sunday, we have a slow week, the market should close very close to this 50 SMA, okay? Right here, this is the daily 50 SMA. We just got it coded into the intraday chart. 591.36 on SPY. So we broke right through it. Obviously, it needs a back test. So my target was the golden pocket. Here's the golden pocket. Clear as day resistance. So all my guys are probably shorting this late afternoon. They know exactly what to do with this. We called the long to the golden pocket. And if it did go today, obvious resistance, dude. Look at this. We can't not take golden pocket algorithm trades like this. These are guaranteed trades. Yes, guaranteed, the G word. You go 14 points up, 2.4%. That is massive for a SPY move. And that's because the VIX is high, sure. But this right here, back test needed. So 50 SMA broke over, hit the exact long target I wanted for next week. Back test, because we need confirmation, right? So we're going to come back down here, tag this 50 SMA, and then we're going to close somewhere right around 591, plus minus. So with that being said, we have to watch the golden pocket and 50 SMA over under. So when we start the week, when we start Sunday, we'll watch these futures, and we will come into the market as we see fit, well deciding direction from that 50. Now, if we stay above it, and let's say the market kicks right here to that golden pocket resistance, which it just did, falls, closes under the 50 SMA, then we start to see that speed to the downside. That's perfectly fine. We hit the golden pocket now. We can go back to screw the Santa rally. We're not going long if it stays outside of the Powell body. So the Powell body is your direction. The body of this massive candle right here from the dump is the directional pick. So 586.25. It stays, kind of hovers here for a day, comes into support, right? Depending on where we close, we don't know yet, but starting the week, if we see weakness under that 50, breaking through 586, we're going down to 575.26. If we're over the 50 SMA, pushing towards the top of the golden pocket, we will most likely meet 597.25, the top of the golden pocket, 38.20, and most likely, as it calculates in, the 10 SMA daily, because it could do a nice little retest there, right? So it's the only metric that we have left. There's no big deal. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the potential, okay? So with this gap tag right here as a lower low support reversal here, because of that gap fill on QQQ is mainly it, this gap fill still persists on SPY. So the QQQ has its fill with the one that we just covered. SPY does not. So the over-under, which directional watch, is all about the Powell 50. So let's keep an eye on the 50 SMA with the golden pocket, 5915. If we close low That'd be crazy if we close inside of this little candle, this red guy that we made after the Powell. If we close under that body right here, we're in really nice danger to come down and bang that gap fill in 100 EMA through the Santa rally and then actually launch back long for a little bit. Now, I'm not saying long to the market, back to all-time highs, blah, 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 trend, we're up. I'm saying back towards highs before we pull back for our initial call, because we have called this over and over and over again. Once rate cuts start, we will most likely find a larger pullback into that 100 EMA. Now, if we can pop back up and find that lower high compared to the all-time high, right? We want to get up, towards 600 again or so, or very close to, hit around that 600 zone and fail 600. That would be a perfect lower high to start a correction move into Q1. And, maybe we kick rocks on the Santa rally. So it's the only thing I'm looking for. We do have multiple daily gaps down here that need filled. You can see them down here on the SPY, 559.37, 5, we got 35.63. All these daily gaps do need tests, and they will come back eventually. I think we have one way back here too. Yeah, there's another one. This one might have filled. The indicator might just be crazy, but very interesting little sliver fill here. Yeah, that's not a fill either. So we have gaps as low as 420 something. And I got algos as low as 18,000 in NQ. So I can't release those and how we're moving. And last but not least, check out the Qs here. It's going to be the same thing. For the dynamic, we have a huge gap that needs to be filled. It's a triple gap daily no fill you see. And I've covered these in the last video, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but I'm just going to talk about this level right here of where we can backtest gap one. Gap 1, gap 2, gap 3, right? So large gap, medium gap, small gap. And all of them are in the same 492.50 area to 494. So we will backtest that zone inevitably. So if we start to see panic, again, under the golden pocket or pending on Santa rally, either we Santa rally back up to that golden pocket, hopefully get up to either double top like that or lower high. Target is still going to be short, but not until most likely January Q1, as we might see a little bit of hiccups. Regardless, we have to return to this triple gap zone eventually into the 494, 492. Now, right now, we have temporary supports on our oscillation too. We got the RSI 50 right here. That's going to help us up a little bit. But if this RSI hits that 50, comes up in lower highs and re-breaks, that's going to be a monster move for confirmation, as we might be up here for that lower high in double top territory to fail and then start to come back down. We still even need a 50 hit. Remember, 50 shied, broke over right here, no tag, no tag, no tag. So when that break comes, we're going to hit those moving averages for the first time after 1, 2, 3, 4 different shies where it never wanted to hit anything. And most likely we're just going to start cutting those and heading back down to the 200. I don't know about that. That's pretty far. We'll play it when it gets there. But regardless, our short into the Q1 and for corrective territory is still down here at the triple gap. From where we're at right now, golden pocket is about 6%. From the highs, 8%. My corrections, quote unquote, are anywhere between 8 and 15% for NQ. So that would put us into at least going through the 100 EMA a little bit and even back testing, where the 2618 is right here. This could net us from all-time high about 9, 10%. So that's about the start of the correction. We could easily go lower from there. But the correction should still be coming. And if we get the confirmations for it, it doesn't matter which way it goes, we'll be ready, because it's all about the golden pocket. I don't care if it's long back to trend high or in higher highs and then it dumps later on and Q1 kick the can down the road, or we finally get the pullback correction, because I will buy that pullback correction. I'm not macro bearish on anything. For the long term. I have to see what the early start of 2025 looks like, even though it's extended. It is still something that happens way later on. We kick the can down the road. It doesn't happen. It's not a knee-jerk scenario. So with that being said, we'll see you guys Monday. Give us a follow if you want to trade with us live. Give us a follow over on X. But if you want to see some of those calls, check out the Twitter and the X. You can even backtest a lot of our live calls, and they are generally fantastic when we post those. And if you want to trade with us live, links in the description. If not, hey, we'll see you on the next video. Take care.